Hello students. So today we will be discussing WT beams. WT beams, this will be our last topic in the chapter T beams. So moving forward, basically we will be discussing that what is a WT beam. We have already seen the W portion in the rectangular sections, that was our previous chapter, that was WRC beams, and now we will be discussing that portion in T structures or T shapes. So basically, what do we mean by a doubly beam? So doubly beam is provided, or a doubly T section is provided when the size of section cannot be increased. That means we have reached an ultimate point where the cross section area cannot be increased more, and when we get the condition that mu is greater than mu lim. To satisfy this condition, we will always be providing a doubly T beam. Okay, so basically there are two types of cases that will be seen in this case. The first case will be this, that is FC is greater than FT. The basic difference between a singly T beam and a doubly T beam is that in singly there were three cases we were discussing. The first one was FC greater than FT, the second one was FC equal to FT, and the third one was FC less than FT. But in the case of WT beams, we will be discussing only, or we will be seeing only two cases, that is FC greater than FT and FC less than FT. There is nothing such as limiting section or balance section in W portion, because if we take it as balance section, it will be considered as a singly T beam only. Okay, so moving towards the case, the first case is FC greater than FT. So in the figure you can see that if FC is greater than FT, then by default XU will be less than DF for this condition. Yeah, so the neutral axis will be passing through the flange. So the H portion here shows our compression zone, whereas the bottom portion here shows our tension zone. The steel are provided in two parts, that is bottom portion or tension zone will be providing AST, that is area of steel in tension, and in the top zone we will be providing ASC, that is area of steel in compression. Now the basic difference here from the previous cases is that the equation are not directly prescribed in our IS code. In the previous previous videos we have seen that we were discussing the clauses G2.1, G2.2 and G2.3. That clauses were specified only for singly T sections. For WT sections there is nothing prescribed in our IS code. We will be considering or using these equations to solve our numerical portion, that is analysis and design. We will be seeing both analysis and design in this video. So moving further, as there are two portions or two materials used in the compression, one being concrete and other being steel, there will be two forces acting in it. The first will be C1, that will be due to the presence of concrete in the compression zone, and the second will be due to the presence of steel in the compression zone. Yeah, the second portion will be always similar to that we have seen in the W section. We already seen the equation pertaining to C2 in W section. In T sections also this value will be same, that is FSC minus FCC into ASC. Whether it be a rectangular section or a T section, this value of C2 will always be same. The only difference is, or the only change is, the value of C1. Here, as we are discussing compressive forces, and force is always equal to, this portion is our stress and this portion will be our area. Clear? So the H portion, the area will be, this depth will be XU and this width will be BF. So the area of the H portion will be BF into XU. So the force acting on it will be 0.36 FCKB XU. For case 1, this will be our compression force C1, and C2 is due to the presence of steel, that is ASC. So the compressive force will be FSC minus FCC into ASC. The terminologies used to solve FSC and FCC will be same as we have discussed in the W sections. And T, that being our tension zone, the equation will again be same, that is 0.87 FIAST. Using the equilibrium condition, we will be getting the equation as C1 plus C2 equal to T. So this was our first case, that is if FC is greater than FT. Moving on to the second case, Here the second case is for Fc is less than Ft. That means neutral axis will be in web, and as the neutral axis is in web, Xu will always be greater than df. Xu will be greater than df. So here I have considered two portions. The first, I have considered this portion, that is a vertical rectangle, and named it as section 1. So this will be our section 1, and the horizontal portion of the flange will be our section 2. So C1 will be comprising of these two cases. Clear? C1 being the concrete portion. In hereby section 1 and section 2 both are filled with concrete. So we will be cutting into two portions of rectangles. That is our section 1 and section 2. So this portion, that is the first case, will be of our section 1. That means if we elaborate it, this will be our compression zone, this will be our Xu, and this is our neutral axis, that is this line. Clear? So here the shape is generated of T, and to find CG or to find moment, we should be getting a prescribed shape in the form of either rectangle, square, triangle, circle, etc. So here we need to cut it into two portions. We will be cutting in the same method as we have cut in the previous, that is singlet T section. So we will be cutting it as vertically. This will be our section 1, and this both will be our section 2. So the first portion of C1 is due to this section 1. Yeah, and as we have discussed it earlier, it is 0.36 FCK BXU. But why BW? Because the width we are always considering that is passing through the neutral axis. In case 1, the neutral axis was passing through its flange, so we considered BF in that case. But in this case, that is our case 2, the neutral axis is passing through its web portion. Therefore, we will be considering BW as the width of beam and Xu. Clear? And this second portion will be due to this second part, that is our flange portion. So it will be 0.446 FCK, that is our maximum stress, multiplied by area. So if I hatch this portion, this total width will be BF, this width will be BW. So the hatch portion length will be BF minus BW, and area is length multiplied by depth. So the depth here is DF, that is depth of flange. So the area will be BF minus BW into DF. So for case 2, our C1 will be 0.36 FCK BW XU plus 0.446 FCK BF minus BW into DF. The only portion is this term we are adding it. Clear? And here BF will be represented by BW. This is the major change between our case 1 and case 2. C2 value remains the same that we have already discussed. T remains the same, and the equilibrium condition also same. So in both the cases, the only change here is this portion. Done? So we will be starting with our analysis portion, and then we will be moving towards our design portion. So again, in the analysis portion, the question will always be to find the moment of resistance. So here the question is, find moment of resistance of a doubly reinforced T-beam with following data. BF, that is width of flange, is given as 1200 mm. DF, that is depth of flange, is 100 mm. BW, width of web is given as 250 mm. Capital D, that is overall depth, is taken or given as 400 mm, and cover is mentioned as 50 mm. Keep in mind, it is mentioned as cover. It is not prescribed whether it is a top cover or bottom cover. So we will be assuming that both the covers are taken as 50 mm. Therefore, in this case, D dash will always also be equal to 50 mm. We will be taking D dash also to be 50 mm. So, and the AST and ASC are provided in the question, that is area still in tension and area still in compression is also prescribed. We will be taking M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. So we will be finding moment of resistance. As we have discussed in the WRC beam, that is rectangular sections, the equation for finding moment of resistance here will also be same. It will be C1 Z1 plus C2 Z2, and for that we will be finding Xu. Yeah? So our first step will be to calculate the relation between FC and FT, whether we will be using case 1 here or we will be using case 2. So for that we will be requiring these two terms, that is AST and ASC. As the steel diameter and numbers are already mentioned in question, we can identify either by manual method or using our steel table. And FSC. FSC, keep in mind, it is by the same method that D dash by D ratio is to be obtained. Here D dash is 50, capital D is 400 and cover is 50. So small d will be equal to 350 mm. And here 50 divided by 350, we will be getting an answer of something around 0.14. And if we are getting an answer something around 0.14, we will be rounding it off to be 0.15. Clear? And for 0.15, FSC is 342 Newton per mm square. We need to remember two values, that is for 0.1 we will be always taking is to be 353 Newton per mm square, and for 0.15 we will be taking it as 342 Newton per mm square. FCC, same method, it will be obtained as we have discussed in previous chapter, that is FCC will be equal to 0.446 FCK. FCK in the question is given as M20, so this value will come out to be 8.92 Newton per mm square. So solving this equation, and keep in mind this is the equation of FC, this is neither C1 or C2, so you need to remember this equation. It is not prescribed in our IS code. How to remember it? It is very easy. This first case is for singly T-beam that we have discussing in previous lecture, that for singly T-beam FC will be 0.36 FCK BFDF, but as it is a doubly portion, the amount of steel is added to the compression zone. This was due to, the first portion was due to concrete that we have seen, but the second portion will be the amount of steel added to the compression zone, and for that we will be just adding FSC minus FCC into ASC. So this is due to the doubly portion that is being given, so it is easy to remember. We always remember it as 0.36 FCK BFDF for singly T-beam. If it is asked doubly T-beam, we just need to add the amount of the steel content that is been added to the compression portion and the force due to it. It will be FSC minus FCC into ASC. So solving it, we will get an answer 1.24 into 10 raised to 6 Newton. And now we need to find FT. FT will be calculated from the same method, that is 0.87 F5 AST. It comes out to be 1.06 into 10 raised to 6 Newton. So we can get the relation that FC is greater than FT. And if FC is greater than FT, therefore neutral axis will be in flange, and XU will be less than DF. Yeah. So in this case we will be using our case 1 that we have discussed earlier. So for that we will be using C1 plus C2 equal to T. C1 will be this portion that we have discussed earlier in the figure, that 0.36 FCK BF. As it is in flange, the width will be considered as BF. C2 will be due to the presence of steel in compression, that will be FSC minus FCC into ASC, and this will be our RHS portion, that is tension force. So equating it, we will be getting an answer of XU. XU comes out to be 98.47 mm. We need to check it whether we have proved it correctly or not. As it is in flange, it will always be XU less than DF. So this value 98.47 is of XU, so we will be just comparing it with DF. DF is mentioned in question as 120 mm. Okay? So it is less than 120 mm, and therefore it is okay till now. So this was our XU portion. Now the question here is to find the moment of resistance. So for my finding moment of resistance, we will always be using the equation mu equal to C1Z1 plus C2Z2. So now we will be using this equation, that is mu equal to C1Z1 plus C2Z2. Clear? But before that we will be proving that it is either a URS section or a ORS section, that is under reinforced or over reinforced. And for that we will be needing XU max. And XU max can be obtained from page number 70 of your IS code. The equation will be 0.48D. Clear? And the answer will be for it 168 mm. So here we can say that XU is less than XU max, and the section here is under reinforced section. So now moving on to the final step, we will be using C1 Z1 plus C2 Z2 again from case 1. So the C1 C2 values will be input from our case 1 that we have discussed it earlier. So solving it, we get an answer 325.33 kilonewton into meter. So this is our analysis. Basically it will be asked only for two methods, that is either it will be FC greater than FT or it will be FC less than FT. If it is FC is greater than FT, then we'll be solving using the method that we have seen. If the equation comes out to be FC less than FT, then the only change will be in the term C1. As the whole method will be same as we have seen here, the only change is that the C1 value will be different. Okay, so moving on to the design portion. The question here is design a T-beam for following data or design a doubly T-beam for following data. Till date the design problem is not been asked in detail, but it is been, we can't say that it won't be asked forever. So let us take an example. The width of flange is given in question as 700 mm. The depth of flange is given as 100 mm. The overall depth, that is capital D, is given as 450 mm. The width of rib, that means width of web is given as 200 mm, and the ultimate moment is given as 350 kilonewton meter. Keep in mind, ultimate moment is same as factor moment, so here we won't be multiplying it by 1.5. clear? And again the grade of concrete and steel are the same. Now in design there is a major change as compared to our analysis portion. In analysis portion we were using the cases that were seen, that is case 1 and case 2. Here we won't be using this, we will be using the relation between MU and MU limb. For design purposes, as the AST and ASC are to be identified. In analysis portion, AST, that is area of steel in tension, and ASC, that is area of steel in compression, is already given in the question. But in designing, we need to identify or we need to find the amount of steel that is required. So we can't compare ever FC and FT. So for design purpose, we will be comparing MU and MU limb. So here MU is given in question, that is 350 kilonewton into meter. We will be finding MU limb. And keep in mind, this is a major thing that has been discussed now, that MU limb till now we have referred it to be 0.138 FCK BD square. Again, till now in the previous chapters we were seeing MU limb equal to 0.138 FCK BD square or 0.148 FCK BD square, depending upon the steel grade that is being given in the question. If it is Fe415, then we will be using it 0.138 FCK BD square. If it is given as Fe250 steel, then we will be using it as 0.148 FCK BD square. But these two equations can only be used if a rectangular section is given. Keep in mind, again, these both equations can only be used if a rectangular cross section is given in question. Here the section is of T, so we can't use either of these values. So there will be a new equation for it. So keep in mind, we'll be using this equation for MU limb, that is 0.36 FCK BW axiom x D minus 0.42 axiom x. How to remember it, I will say it later on, plus 0.446 FCK BF minus BW DF D minus DF by 2. Clear? And this is our equation of C into Z. As it is moment's equation is always force into perpendicular distance, and we are dealing with the compressive forces now, because the change here is in compression zone. Tension zone is same for singly and doubly. There is nothing change in that. The major change is only in the compression zone. So we will be dealing with the compression zones only. So we will be using equation C into Z. Now how to remember it? Here you can see 0.36 FCK BXU. We have seen this C1 was 0.36 FCK BXU, and why it is taken as BW? Because it is the condition for MU limb. Clear? As it is condition for MU limb, means it is a maximum condition for singly. It is a maximum condition that a singly can resist. So for it will always be taken as BW. For MU limb we won't be taking BF ever. Keep in mind. Clear? So for MU limb we always be taking width as BW. So this again bifurcating it, this is our stress component, that is 0.36 FCK, and this is our area, that is BW into XU max. And again, if we are dealing with MU limb, then we will be finding XU max, that because of limiting section method. And this will be our Z, that is lever arm. So for singly section, we all know that lever arm will be D minus 0.42 XU. So this is our first portion due to the singly part, that is C1 Z1, due to the singly portion, clear? And this will be due to our W portion, that means the second case that we have seen, 0.446 FCK will be the stress component, and this will be our area, clear? And this will be our Z2 for W sections. We have already proved this in WRC beams. So for finding MU limb, we will always use this equation, and we won't be using 0.138 FCK BD square or 0.148 FCK BD square, clear? So for equating this, the first thing we need to find is XU max, and XU max, as it is given for Fe415 steel, will be 0.48 D from page 70 of your IS code. The value comes out to be 192 mm. Now FCK is given in question as 20, BW is given in question as 200 mm, XU max we have calculated it to be 192, D, small d, that is our effective depth. Here overall depth is given as 450. Keep in mind, overall depth is given as 450 and cover is not prescribed, so we will be taking cover as 50 mm, therefore small d will be taking as 400 mm. Clear? This is general for all the cases, that is either it will be for singly RC beam, for WRC beam, or for T beams. This will be same. So small d, that is effective depth, will be taking it as 400 mm. And here again BF, BW are prescribed in question, DF is also prescribed in question. So we will be getting answer of MU limb as 244.4 kilonewton meter. Now why to do this? Because as we are designing a W section, and we have seen in the first slide itself that W section can only be designed if this relation is satisfied. So for designing a W beam, we need to prove that MU is greater than MU limb. By solving this equation, we get that MU limb is 244.4 kilonewton into meter, and in the question itself MU is been prescribed. MU is given as 350 kilonewton into meter. So we, by comparing both these cases, by both these equations, we get MU is greater than MU limb. So we will be designing it as WT beams. Now in designing, we have proved that it will be designed as a WT beam. Now what to find? Basically we will be finding two cases, that is the value of AST and ASC. As we have done in the WRC beams, it will be by the same method, just the equations somewhat are twisted. So moving further, first we will be finding AST1. Now in that case, if you remember, AST1 was found from the equation of PT limb, that was 19.82 FCK by F5, if you could remember. In WRC beam, that is rectangular beams, we are using this equation, PT limb equal to 19.82 FCK by F5. But again, this equation can be applied only if the rectangular cross section is given. Again, these equations can be applied only if rectangular cross sections are given. In this case, the cross section is T, therefore we can't use this equation of PT, so we will be using the equation of MU limb to find our AST1. MU limb we have already calculated. Now we just need to use the equation of it, that means moment. And moment, we all know that it is force into perpendicular distance, that means we will be using it as T into Z. Clear? MU limb will be taking as T into Z, and if we are taking a limiting section, then the steel pertaining to limiting section will always be AST1, as we have discussed it in WRC beam. There are two parts, AST1 and AST2. So the steel that is belonging to the limiting portion or singly portion will always be AST1, and the steel that is belonging to the W portion, that is, if you could remember, the term was MU2. Yeah? So the steel pertaining to the MU2 will be our W portion, that is AST2. So to find AST1, we will be using this equation, that is T into Z, and T is 0.87 Fi AST1 into Z, and Z being D minus DF by 2. in every cases we will be using Z, that is lever arm, equal to D minus dF by 2. Why dF by 2? Because in general it is a T-beam. It is not a pure WRC section. It is a T section. So we will be using D minus dF by 2. So in this whole case, the only unknown here will be AST1. This value we have already find out in the previous slide. So the only unknown will be AST1, and AST1 comes out to be 1868.80 mm square. Now we are left with two parts, that is to find AST2 and to find ASC. So moving further, we need to find AST2. But for finding AST2, as we have discussed, we need to find the value of MU2, because AST1 refers to MU limb and AST2 refers to MU2. And to find MU2, the equation will be same as we discussed in the WRC beam. That is, MU2 will be equal to MU minus MU limb. That is how much extra we need to provide to balance our LHS and RHS portion. It comes out to be 113.84 kilonewton into meter. Now we need to find the value of FSC and FCC from the same method that we are using in WRC beam. For FSC, we will be taking the ratio D dash by D, D dash taken as 50 mm. The ratio comes out to be 0.125, rounding it off to 0.1. We get FSC equal to 353 Newton per mm square. And the next thing will be to find FCC. FCC will be found from the same method again, that is 0.446 FCK. It comes out to be 8.92 Newton per mm square. Clear? Now before finding AST2, we will be finding our ASC that we have discussed in the WRC section. Using, if you could remember, we used this equation from our page 96. The same equation we will be using for this WT section too. Clear? So this equation was MU minus MU limb equal to, keep in mind, it was FSC minus FCC. Clear? ASC D minus D dash. So we will be using the same equation. FSC we have obtained, FCC we have obtained, MU2 also we have calculated here, and the only thing that is remaining is ASC. So by solving this equation, we will get ASC, that is 945.29 mm square. So up till now we have calculated two amounts of steel, that is AST1 and ASC. Now we will be moving towards the third portion, that is AST2. And to find AST2, we will be dealing with MU2 that we have discussed. So MU2 will be equal to T into Z. The same equation we will be using as we have seen for AST1. Clear? The only difference here is that T will be different and Z will be different. T will be taken as 0.87 F by AST2. For finding AST1, we were referring capital T equal to 0.87 F by AST1. Clear? And Z will be due to our W section, and W section, that means our steel provided. So the Z will be taken as D minus D dash. There, for finding AST1, the Z was D minus DF by 2, and now for finding our Z2, it will be taken as D minus D dash. So solving it, we will be getting an answer 900.86 mm square. So combining both the values, that is to find actual our AST and ASC. AST will be the combination or addition of both, that is AST1 plus AST2, that comes out to be 2769.66 mm square. And ASC we have already calculated it to be 945.29. So now the last step will be to provide number of bars, and for that we will be referring to our steel table. I have kept it up to you to select the number of bars, because you always know that the range and the number of bars that we'll be using, the range will be from 14 to 28, either you could be go to 30, and the number of bars you could provide are from 2 to 6. So if we look into further, we are getting AST equal to 2769.6 mm square, that means 27.69. So here if we look upon 26.69, the value that is obtained nearest is 30.79. So you could provide this. It is not mandated to provide this value only. Just to need to remember that whatever or whichever value you choose from this table should be greater than this value and should be within this matrix only. Clear? So you can select any value, but this criteria need to be matched up. And for ASC, the value is 9.45 centimeter square. So if I look upon 9.45, the nearest value that I get is 10.18. Yeah, 10.18. That means 4 numbers of 16 mm dia. But again, it is not mandatory. You can provide any value between this matrix. Just need to remember that the steel that is required should be less than what is provided, or vice versa. That is, steel which is provided should always be greater than what is asked or required. Yeah. So this was our design of steel, that is design of WRC beam. So moving further, this will be our today's exercise problem, as it is a typical sum regarding a WRC section, or you can say WT section. So refer it, do it, and was our last portion in our T section, and from next lecture onwards we'll be starting with our new chapter. Okay.